Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about how to buy your first investment property step by step. Step I would say would be getting down your down payment. For most purchases, you'll need about 10% or 20%. If you're using an FHA loan, you're going to need 3.5% with your credit score of 580. If it's less than that, you're going to have to bring 10% to the table. FHA is good because it lets you come in with less down payment, but it's not always good for investors to come in with low down payment because it doesn't buy down the loan as much, and you're giving a higher payment monthly. The next step number 2 is having the highest possible credit score. The higher the credit score, the lower your payment's going to be, and the lower the interest that you're going to be paying to the lender. Increase your credit score as much as you can by paying down debt. And also very important when you're buying another property is making sure that you don't make any large purchases on your credit. Don't go buy a car, don't go and refinance, don't go and get some furniture, get a new credit card and use it up. Don't touch any of that stuff. Pay off as many cards as you can, and that will go ahead and increase your credit score. If you want some more information on how to increase your credit score, go ahead and message me below or contact me. There's a lot of apps we can use and look at what you have on your credit score right now, and we can look at scenarios. If we buy down more debt, that would increase your score here. So just go ahead and contact me. We'll go ahead and work on one-on-one basis with you guys. Step 4 is make sure you sit down with the lender and understand what loan you're going to use for this property that you're looking for, and to see how much you qualify for and get you pre-approved, because you might see an exact home that you like, or the perfect home that you've been looking for comes up on the market, and because you're not ready or pre-approved or ready to go, someone else snatches it up, puts it under contract, and you lose that. I've seen it 100 times. People call me up, hey, I want to put an offer on this property. I pull it up on the MLS, under contract. I'm sorry. The scenarios of how much you're going to be paying, what the mortgage is going to look like. One thing is that you want to go ahead and submit all your information to the lender. Tell them your credit score. Don't tell them that you want to run your credit score, because that'll drop you points. You want to shop the rate with different banks, credit unions, mortgage brokers, and see who gets you the best rate and the best terms. Okay, so look at creditkarma.com. Give whatever score you have on there, give that to the lender and tell them that you don't want them to run your credit, that this is your credit score, because the last thing you want to is them shopping your rate and then lowering your credit score all over the place, and nothing happens, and then you're out of. Number 5 is start looking for a property. Contact a real estate agent like myself, or start looking. I have an app that we built that can is just like Zillow, and it's free. You're not going to get all these advertisement ads on there, and the links below in the description. It's totally free. You go ahead and download it, create a user profile, and it even alerts you when new properties come out in the market. And this is the fun part, because you're going to start, I would suggest look at a lot of properties, get used to if in the area that you live on, the properties are too high and you can't afford it, look outside the state, go out to state. There's a lot of people that do out of state properties for investment, and they're cash flowing. You always want to make sure that the property is cash flowing, or at the very least, you break even after all expenses. And make sure you pad those expenses up, because things will break, things will need repairs. You will need a property manager, and set aside for improvements. Because things will need a new roof at one point. Sewer will need to be worked on at one point. So think about all the expenses. Get yourself a nice calculator. They're all over Google. Plug in the numbers and see if it makes sense. Step number 7, look for properties that need renovation Some properties might need just a little bit of paint. You know, the bathroom looks old. It's stuck in the 70s, 80s, 90s. You know, you go in there and rip out the kitchen and put something else in there. You know, something new, upgraded. You know, you guys seen those DIY videos, or you know, those videos on TV where they show the people gutting out the kitchens, and then they turn it from day to night. It's brand new quartz countertops and all stainless steel appliances. You know, that's what you're going to be looking for. You know, something that needs a little bit of work. Those always have a opportunity for you to make some money in there, because you're going to go ahead and use what's called sweat equity, or add value proposition, where you go in there and maybe add square footage to the property. Maybe it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and you add an extra bedroom. That's definitely going to create a lot of more value for you when you go ahead and rent it out. Or some of you guys might flip the property, depending on what you want. Step number 8, go ahead and make an offer on the property that you like. You know, don't be afraid to go below market, because, you know, some of these properties are going to need repairs. Like I said, you know, the worst thing that can happen is someone's going to tell you no, or they're going to counter your offer saying, well, we're not going to take that. We need X numbers of dollars. And you might, you know, actually what the best scenario can happen is that they accept your offer and you save yourself a lot of money. Step number 9, let's say your offer gets accepted and you have a certain amount of days to do your due diligence. Make sure you inspect the property. You know, sewer, electrical, roofing, a general inspection of the property to see what's wrong with it, if it needs any repairs, if there's mold, if there's a cracked foundation, if the electrical is not up to code, if there's issues with the property that need to be addressed before you purchase it. With these reports, you can always go back to the seller and say, hey, there's repairs that need to be done. It's X amount of dollars, and I need you to credit back this amount. A lot of listings will say sold as is, no credits given, but you can always go ahead and go back to the guy and say, hey, this is what we found. We need these credits. If he says no, well, if you're within your days of, you know, of taking off the restrictions, you can go ahead and say, hey, you know what? Well, based on what contract that we wrote, you know, I don't like what I see, and if you're not giving me credit, well, we'll go ahead and cancel the transaction, and you can get your money back. You might want to go ahead and still go with the property because you're getting it at such a good deal, but that's all depending on you. Oh, and make sure you get yourself a good real estate agent like myself that puts that in writing and make sure that he's covering you. And guys, so step number 10 would be escrow cost. Understand your escrow cost. Mostly there's a closing cost. You're looking at probably 1% of the purchase price. So, you know, you go ahead and times that out, figure out what that is. Most of these costs are always, you can shop rates for different services. You know, you can look for the lower cost providers, and nothing's set in stone. Step number 11, you want to go ahead and renovate the property. Go in there and pull out old carpets. Maybe you want to put some laminate, because carpet is always going to end up getting dirty. It's always going to, every tenant that you get, you're going to have to go ahead and clean it or rip it out and put some new carpet. So you want to think about it long term. New paint. Imagine anything that can break will break. So you want to go ahead and think ahead before you buy. You want to make sure you're getting something quality that's going to last long, because I have properties out there that they call me up and we broke this, we broke that, needs repairs. So you might not imagine that might break, but you're like, hey, how did that break? And you're putting out of pocket for that. Make sure that if you're bringing in a contractor to do work, you're there on the property with them every day just to make sure it gets done, because sometimes you'll go ahead and hire a contractor and you leave them alone, and then next thing you know, they got one guy on site when they had 5 and nothing's getting done. You know, you want to make sure when products are coming in, you don't give them all the money at once. You want to make sure that guy is vetted. You know, you got him off of a referral, someone that's done work with them before. It's hard to find good contractors if you're shooting out of the yellow pages. It's you want to make sure someone's referring that person to you, and you never want to give away 100% of the construction cost. You want to have, you want to work yourself up to certain days, and let's say this gets done, you get 20%. After this day, this gets done, you get the other percent, and until you finalize everything, then you have a walkthrough, you get the rest. Something like step number 12. You're going to go ahead and rent out the property. It's ready to go, so you want to market it in as many places as possible. Craigslist, Zillow, my website below. You want to go ahead and put it on the MLS if you have a realtor that can do that for you. You want to go ahead, if someone calls you and says, I want to see it today, let's go ahead and take care of that today. Don't wait for another week or a couple of days to call that person back, because those renters are looking for a place to move in as fast as possible, and in a couple of days they might find some other place and you lost a good tenant. Number 13, you want to go ahead and rinse and repeat. Do this process again. Start building your portfolio of properties. Then you can start moving into bigger strategies of refinance, pull out some money, buy another property, maybe sell off some properties and do 1031 exchange, some of these more advanced tax options. And I can definitely help you, guide you through all these processes. Just contact me below, or DM me, or give me a call, however you like. I'm here to help. All right, good luck to you guys, and have a great day.